I am a Linux user. I don't like Windows, don't like Mac. I just use Linux. I would use Linux on my phone if it was a viable option for me right now. TechHut is one of those Linux YouTubers that I watch quite often. He usually knows his stuff. Sometimes he makes some grammar mistakes and some verbal mistakes, but he generally knows what he's talking about. There's been some big Pop OS Cosmic updates, some Firefox updates, some KDE Plasma updates, and more. And I want to see what these updates are, especially Pop, because when Cosmic is like really rolled out, that's probably what I'm going to switch to. So let's just get into it.
So, if you don't know, we have a weekly newsletter here at TechHut, which covers some wonderful technology and open source news. This is that newsletter right here. Now, every once in a while, there are so many cool things to cover that it is worth a whole dedicated
That looks
video,
cool.
and this is one of
I
those
like that.
instances. We have some stunning improvements within the development of the Cosmic desktop environment for Pop OS, a new privacy-focused phone getting some rather decent funding. Firefox 119 is coming with some rather impressive features.
Hold on,
And we've got
go back. I want to see what that was about that phone. Arena 2. 156,000 on Kickstarter. Okay. Or Kickstarted. Is that different from Kickstarter, or is that just a typo? I'm thinking he maybe wrote this. Probably not, though. I don't know. As you all know, this newsletter happily covers all kind of hardware that does not run mainline Linux out of the box, but still offers a higher level of privacy or user respect. Morena is a de-googled phone that comes with switches for front and back cameras and a second. So is it? Is it Linux? It doesn't say it is. It says that, well, it's gotta be Linux. Yeah. It's not just de-googled Android, it's gotta be Linux.
decent funding. Firefox 119 is coming with some rather impressive features. And we've gotten some specific release dates with the upcoming Fedora 39. Now, this video is sponsored by
I used to use Fedora when they got in trouble a little while ago for going closed source, or Red Hat did. I stopped using it and I switched to Debian, and I use Linux Mint Debian Edition, and that's what I've been using. I switched from Debian Edition Mint to just regular Debian with GNOME. And I'm thinking I might switch to Plasma whenever Plasma 6 drops.
Akamai Connected Cloud. You can use them to create your very own Linode and spin up a Linux instance in the cloud. Whether if you are a tinkerer and you just want to play around, or you want to actually deploy a production service and use it to host your websites, game servers, whatever you really need. If you could do it on Linux, you could do it on a Linode.
I blew up my computer that I was using for all of this, and I had to wipe my mini PC I was using as a server so I could make these lovely videos for people. I miss my PC. It was the power supply, and I'm just getting the Be Quiet 1000-watt. Why not? I think I needed a higher wattage anyway, because I had a lot of things plugged into my computer, including 2, sometimes 3 monitors. Yeah, this high-powered webcam, and I don't know if that really makes a difference or not, but $300 for power supply that has a warranty, sure.
They have a bunch of one-click installers that makes it really easy to get up and going, and I do have a lot of separate tutorials on the Akamai Developer YouTube channel if you're interested in checking those out. If you use the link down below and you are a new user, you can get yourself a $100 60-day credit. Now with that, let's get into some of the good old GNU news. Now, first up, on Friday, October 20th, the Pop! OS blog posted their October Cosmic updates. And the thing that stands out the most by far is their new lock screen and login screen right here. It is
That's
a rather impressive.
that's the lock and login screen. I love it. I love it so much. That's what I want my Android phone to look like. I've made it kind of look like that before, but that just looks beautiful, man. I bet you can change the colors too. Because mine would still have that dark gray with the, I don't know why I keep pointing. Mine would still have this dark gray color. And I'll probably make, where this is blue, I'll probably make that like lavender purple or something.
Unique concept gives you a lot of kind of functionality without having to log completely into your system. We can see here, of course, the time, date. That's pretty standard. We have our battery percentage. The login is over here. Plus, we have toggles for accessibility, keyboard layout, users, settings, sleep, I believe, restart, and shut down. And it looks like if I scroll down here, there is a prototype. So the password is test. So let's click on this. Ooh, very nice. The graphics are loading. So here is our keyboard layout. Here
Oh,
we
you
can
can
switch
test this?
users.
That's
Jane
cool.
Doe is the test. If I click on this, oh, nothing happens as of yet. Right here we have our accessibility stuff, not doing anything either. Again, this is just a demo. Test, enter, and then it will log you in. And one of the other changes that I do know off the top of my head is
I didn't know you could do this.
So this isn't very functional. It's wanting me to click the power, which here I could log out and probably get back to that screen. Cool stuff. It will be linked down below nonetheless. And of course, this is Cosmic, so this is going to be customizable. Obviously, the background, but if we look over here, we can see some color changes going with a really nice Doom
that's
red
cool.
theme going on. So it's going to be really nice seeing how people get that and play around with it. We have the new applet for the Cosmic tiling. If you are familiar with using the current kind of GNOME implementation of Cosmic, you know that it is one of the very best ways to use tiling on the GNOME desktop environment. Here is their applet for it, so we can see the shortcuts or the keyboard shortcuts, key bindings to navigate.
The shortcuts on Pop! OS are absolutely goated. Just the built-in ones, you don't really have to customize much. And when you do customize, it's super easy to figure out. I love Pop! OS key bindings.
Windows, move windows, adjust your gaps, which I always do. We have the active hint, which I believe is the kind of border outline. So it's really nice that's going to be there and easily accessible to us. And there's really a lot more going on here. We have a lot of information on very specific changes, including the UI development. Using a tool called Taffy, they're able to implement new grid layout widgets, allowing them to create rather complex layouts within applications using minimal code, as said by the Cosmic engineer, Michael. Within our newsletter, everything we talk about does have a link
Michael,
to the specific source
you're a
at the
legend.
bottom if you do want to get more information on what we're talking about. So now the privacy-focused phone Marina, which apparently is some kind of eel, they pulled $156,000 on Kickstarter. It's going to be a de-Googled phone using the operating system EOS. This is the source from The Verge, but I'm more interested in seeing the actual Kickstarter page. Here it is. Marina 2, switch on your privacy.
Yeah, and like, what's the price of it? I really want to know. I might get one just to try it out. Because I'm using a Galaxy Note 10. And I absolutely love it. I'm going to be really sad when this phone starts to die. Because it's getting kind of old. And it hasn't started to shit out yet. There's no damage on it because I take really good care of my phones. But I know this battery is going to start getting old pretty soon. So I'm going to have to find a valid replacement. And if this is customizable and safe and fast, I'll do it. Even if it takes forever to get apps to work on it, I will do it. As long as I can get the apps to work. Because that's the whole point of me doing Linux. I just want to see if stuff works, man.
So it does look like they're going to have a hard buttoned privacy switch here. $171,000, so even more since the newsletter was published. Okay, so there's two physical switches. It has a privacy switch to disconnect the cameras and microphones, and a disconnection switch to completely disable connectivity. That honestly is very handy to have.
I would probably have that disconnected at all times. The camera and the microphone, I mean.
Hard to switch on a phone. Where are the specs? Here's some.
I remember, I know I keep pausing. I remember what was it, the iPhone 4 had that switch. iPhone 3 and 4 didn't have the 1 and 2, so I don't know about those. But 3 and 4 had the switch for the silent mode and the loud mode. Really enjoy that. I wish we could bring that back, and it looks like that has one, and I'll give it a shot. I just want to know the damn price. Oh, this shows it right there. Early bird, $400, 20% off. So it's $420. No, what's 20% off of 400? That'd be 80. This is $500 phone. I'll get it on sale if it's good.
Camera specs, so 64 megapixel, not too bad. 13 megapixel, it's not specifying, but I would assume standard wide angle, maybe macro photography. 25 megapixel front facing, that is decent. Okay, 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of storage. Would like to see more, but it does have a SD card option. Pretty large phone at 1080p, 4000 milliamp battery. CPU is 8 core at 2.1, and this is probably 4 efficiency cores at 2 gigahertz again. Not 100% sure. This will, like everything, be linked down below. And here's everything you get. You get a case. It's always really nice when providers do that. And it's coming in at $500, which honestly seems kind of in range with the specifications we're getting and the fact that it is a brand new phone. And it looks like we can get it for $100 off, or 100 euros off at the moment. Next up, we have the release of Firefox 119 with Chrome extension import. No, this is not going to give you the ability to install like Chrome extensions directly. What it's going to do is a vast majority.
Okay, I don't care about Chrome.
Of the extensions available in Chrome are also available on the Firefox add-on section. So if you choose to do that in the initial setup along with your browsing history and whatnot, it will find those extensions for you and add that directly from their add-on store. If it isn't cross-compatible, it won't do it. And it looks like Firefox is probably becoming a pretty decent PDF editor with the ability to add images to PDFs simply by dragging and dropping them into Firefox while having a PDF open. In addition to that, we have the ability to add text and draw on PDFs. That is definitely more functionality than some other browsers. And then we have Firefox View. If you use Firefox, you noticed that little Firefox icon that you can click and get their Firefox View. They're trying to add a bit more functionality to that. I remember when that first came out, a lot of people were up in arms. Granted, you could right-click on it and remove it. Now it is showing you an overview of your tabs open in every window, browsing history, all the active devices.
I wonder if that'll work on LibreWolf, because it's a fork of Firefox. Maybe they will. Maybe if it's not implemented right away, maybe they will. Because that sounds cool. That sounds like I'd like to use that, especially if it syncs over to my other devices that have LibreWolf. And would it be able to sync my Firefox and my LibreWolf? I'd really like to know that.
If you use Firefox Sync, which is actually a pretty decent feature if you trust that. And of course, if you're interested in this latest release, there's a wonderful article on OMG Ubuntu, which goes into a little bit more detail of what we've covered here. And now, Fedora release dates. Fedora is one of my favorite operating systems.
Will they win me back? Probably not. I'm really into Debian and Pop! OS right now.
It was my number one favorite for the longest time. I have become rather a connoisseur of Debian of sorts.
Yep,
this seems to be the default desktop I go with. I still like to go with Ubuntu server. I'm just so used to the apt package manager, but Fedora is great, especially if you're looking.
I actually haven't tried anything but Ubuntu server. Does Pop! OS have a server? I think I remember seeing that it does. If it does, I need to check that out.
For more frequent releases, as it feels like Fedora 38 just came out, and here we are getting the Fedora 39 release date specifically. The fact
you feel like 38 just came out because you haven't been using it.
The fact that it should have been published on October 21st 4th, but because of the discovery of some last-minute bugs. So the new release date is going to be October 31st on Halloween. And there's a little side note down here. It's a really, really important side note at the bottom of this newsletter.
I'm getting teased with that KDE Plasma. I'm thinking about switching to it.
It is the official release date for KDE Plasma 6, something I am really looking forward to. The actual author of this newsletter is Nicolo. He does some
28th of
fantastic work
February.
for the KDE team, so I'm excited to see what him or what he and some of the other team members have been able to accomplish. 28th of February, the very last day of the shortest month of the year, is going to be the official release date if there's no major hiccups or anything like that. Alpha, November 8th, that is coming up very soon. The first beta coming out just under a month later, November 4th, which this beta date is the day I'm personally excited for. That's when
probably when I'm
going
gonna
to
jump on.
really do a deep dive and make some videos about some of the new features and whatnot. That
Hey, I
is
might do the
coming
same
up.
thing.
And then the release candidate, January 10th, that is a very important day. And then, of course, KDE Gear and all the other major KDE tools, such as their frameworks, will follow this release schedule as well. So with that, that is the news. If you do head over to this page and right here in the bottom corner, click on that subscribe. There is an option to donate. Of course, you do not have to. Just go ahead, pop in your name, your email, choose the free one, and you will get the newsletter sent to you. If you want to support us directly, you can subscribe to it. I try to make exclusive content here or there. I'm definitely going to be picking up on that next year as I'm finishing up university this quarter. I'll have a lot more time to focus a little bit more on this, so I'm really looking forward to that. With all that, check out Akamai Connected Cloud. They're awesome, and I do hope you have an absolutely beautiful day, and goodbye.
So the news is looking good for Linux, and it just keeps getting better every week. Linux Experiment is another guy that I watch the news for Linux. I haven't watched it in a couple weeks. I haven't been really keeping up with it. I've been working a lot and going out of town a lot. I definitely want to check out that Pop OS, and I'm definitely going to check out... Man, I want to switch to Pop, but I want to switch to KDE Plasma. And Pop is really just like a... Well, it was GNOME, but now it's Cosmic. So it's completely different. And I want to try it. I'm gonna have to get my PC fixed, and I'm gonna have to install a bunch of VMs. Just the way it's gonna have to go.